Hey there, welcome back to the Scaling Deep podcast. I'm Lisa Princik, and I'm back with another episode to share with you ways that you can scale your business with a membership program, build a lasting membership so that you can start to earn valuable recurring revenue, bring consistency into your business, and continue to fulfill your dream of doing the work you love and serving your favorite clients. That's what it's all about, my friends. And I'm always here to provide you with things that I'm learning about in my business and being around other people who are really doing amazing in their business, and how to really focus on what's important that will make a big difference in whether or not you get the next 10 members or the next 100. Mostly, I talk about sales and marketing and different ways to do your content and different decisions you'll have to make inside your program, because really, at the end of the day, what I think kills most of us is decision fatigue. And not only fatigue in decision making, but challenges when we're not sure. Like, should we price it this or that? And what are the consequences? And, should we add this level of content or focus on this type of avatar or person that would join our programs? Those are really critical decisions that have us stopped in our tracks sometimes and hesitating to perhaps go down a bolder path that would allow us to get more attention and more noticed and stand out in that sea of people and competition out there. And those decisions are not only exhausting because we simply just hit walls and we don't know how to make the decision. Like, we don't have the right tools. And the best thing I've found is mentorship, is actually having somebody reflect back the bigger consideration if you were to pick option A or option B. I know that that's the roadblock I hit in my business in the last couple months, where I literally had so many good things in place. I didn't have any major what should I do choices around, like, what is my business all about, etc. It was just more like, should I go this route or this other route in terms of maximizing my sales and getting noticed? Like, I just had so many decisions to make, and none of them were terrible. They were all pretty good ones. So I had to get some support. I had to join a pretty high level mastermind and get someone with eyeballs on my brand that could see the opportunities in the market, or that were in the online business world, so they understood like what it takes, and had a wealth of experience and looking at all kinds of businesses to see that sort of sweet spot, because we can't mess around with that too long. We can't stay stuck and not moving forward boldly in a direction, not 100 directions, but we have to at least be moving in one direction boldly for too long, or else we just simply won't get any traction. And it really is about traction. It's really about momentum and critical mass. It's about having not one member join every few weeks. It's about having like 5 join every week or every month, depending on what type of membership you have. Or maybe it's about 50. Like, we got to get that momentum, or else we just don't get to the point where we've got profit and we're doing too much work and earning too little. And so that is why we need support. So that's what I do. I help my membership business owners make these decisions, pick paths that are the most sustainable, the most fulfilling, and are likely to get the best return, as well as also fixing the leaky kind of holes in the bucket. Like, I often will say to people, if you're not getting enough sales for the amount of people you have on your list, for the amount of engagement you have, for the desired outcome, like of what it'll take to make your membership run smoothly, then you've got to work on that core stuff, like your irresistibility. Like, how do you really stand out and offer something distinct and fascinating for people that they just can't take their eyes off of and can't stop thinking about it, in terms of how they feel it will solve their problems. And secondly, how often and how well are you getting that across in your sales system? Like, are you even selling often enough? And I find that a lot of people are not. So I talk about that in all kinds of episodes. And One of the things I want to share with you today is what has been kind of blown up over the last couple weeks, which is this Chat GPT, this open AI content platform, which I thought it was important for me to address for people like you, the solo entrepreneur, the micro business, who might be thinking, well, what is this? And is this of any value to me? And I even just looked up it recently and saw it in my local news station. So it's everywhere by now, and you probably heard about it. So it's hard to get on during the day, but it really is this AI chat platform, which you can, once you log in for free, get your account, go into and start asking it questions. And it is sourcing a whole bunch of written text and it comes up with answers for you. So you may be thinking, well, this could just be fun. And yes, it is fun to play with. And if you love playing with that stuff, you've probably already been doing it for now. But why is this valuable and will be valuable even as a paid service down the road for a very small business owner? Well, actually, this is who it's helping the most. So if you are a small business, maybe you have a couple contractors, maybe you're on your own, maybe you have a small team, you don't probably have an entire department or even person dedicated to content marketing, right? So you probably have a small bandwidth for being able to create all this content that you would love to get out there, because content is still queen. Like, it's important to get out valuable thoughts, ideas, how-tos and all that for your specific niche and area of expertise on a consistent and regular basis. It does not have to be copious amounts. And it totally depends on your avenues that you've chosen, because you can't do it all. However, this could really shorten your time to be able to get that stuff out there. And from two main perspectives, and I'm going to share those with you now. This is free for now, so play around and try to figure out how it will help you best. But here are some ideas. One, just simply ideation, like playing with your ideas. So if you have decisions you're trying to make or choices around words and names and titles and directions to go in your business, you can just simply have a conversation with this AI prompt and see what they say. Like, one of the ones I put in there is, what are the problems facing business owners who would like to scale with a membership program? And it came back with 10 problems that I can look at and think, oh, have I covered that in my content? Is that a good idea for a podcast topic or a blog post? So instead of it being just a Google search, for example, where you would come up with a whole bunch of different articles, some have tools out there already like synonyms and that is already out there. But when you're asking it to source like the best kinds of ideas, that you would probably have to look at, say, 10 articles to come up with a really good key point for each one of those. This can bring it all together in one spot. So you can definitely come up with themes, ideas, names. So for example, I did another thing the other day where I looked at what are the challenges that business owners face with low ticket memberships. And then I asked the same about high ticket memberships, because I really wanted to see the difference between the two, because I've been thinking a little bit more about how more difficult it is to grow a higher ticket or a lower ticket membership. And I just wanted to look at that. And the answers were not massively different, but they were different enough in that with the answers in one of them versus the other, we're like, oh, these problems are more critical than this set of problems. So it definitely leaned in the direction of showing me that one of the problems are hard to overcome than the other. So it was just really cool to just help me make more of a decision on my opinion on a topic based on just having a different way to look at my question. Okay, so that is one way that you can play with it, so that you can start to formulate your ideas and your opinions by getting another perspective, instead of asking your bestie or your biz bestie even, who might not actually be an expert in your niche area. They are not putting the time and thought into it. So when you really want to have a free conversation, this is a great way to do it. Okay. The other thing that I found quite useful was asking it to write a blog post on a specific set of keywords. And that was really cool, because even though it didn't come back with the most amazing blog post, I mean, it was well written. It wasn't fun and juicy and interesting and had your personal kind of style to it, but it was definitely well done and it covered points. It would be an excellent way to create an outline of a blog post, and also just take that 562 words that came back for me, which is definitely not enough, as a baseline. And then I could add my personal approach to it, my personal style, add some stories to it. And out of that, you could come up with a really good blog post without having to start from scratch. And I'm a really big believer in having content on your website and having SEO and driving traffic through SEO, because even though that might all change, you can now get ahead by getting some of these bigger pieces written that take longer, by getting help to start, because it can be daunting to start a 1,500 word blog post. And this can just really help you get that done faster. And then, even though down the road, this whole AI thing might change the level of content, it might even make Google not be as relevant anymore. There's a lot out there, and you can dive down those rabbit holes if you want, but I'm really just looking at it as a time where I'm moving ahead quickly in my business. I'm investing in a big way. I'm getting out there in a big way, and I'm kind of making my move. I'm using all the resources and tools I can get to cut down the amount of time I need to spend personally to get myself out there in a more established way, as in a more established brand. And that is going to be by having this tool help me make decisions, come up with new ideas, new topics, just things that I can help my membership with. Like, one of the things that came up in the challenges that small business owners face when growing with memberships is that they don't know how to evaluate the success of their membership. I'm like, oh, awesome. Like, I would love to address that right full on. Like, how do you know that it's successful? Like, that would be such a fun coaching topic for me. And I love having these really big open-ended questions and helping people figure out their own individual answers to it. That's my zone of genius. That's what I excel at. And so therefore that gave me another idea that I can play with within my paid group of clients. And then finally, just getting more content out there a little faster, so that you can kind of like leapfrog that long build and have more of an established brand by having those foundations put in place. Because for now, people are still getting onto our websites with SEO. And if you can stand out as a niche expert because you've got your core keywords developed, researched, and started to proliferate them all over your website, then you are going to be one step ahead. And it is a little bit sometimes about being the first to get out there, right? In certain ways. And while first is like a kind of a tough one, because there's never really a first, but there's a first in all the new iterations of and ways. There's always new social media, there's always new tactics, there's always new channels, and there's always new technology that help us get out there a little bit faster. Like I said, it doesn't have to be the first and like, this is the only person who's ever had this idea or talked about this topic. It's more about like, how do you sometimes like get ahead and adopt new things so that you can just show up a little bit better. Okay. So that's really just what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to mention how I think you can use it to it's not like a waste of time thing, because this will be something that is going to change the way we do things. And that's why it's all over the mainstream news and everywhere else. Okay. And even local news stations that don't talk about online things. They're not innovative necessarily. It's really just going to change the way we do it. So I think paying a little bit of attention to get a little bit more in the know about it, so you can start thinking about it, and then it won't hit you when it is out there and the way everything is being done. You're not like, what? You want to make sure you know a little bit about it. Okay, so yeah, hope that was helpful. Let me know your questions or comments about it below if you're watching on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, because I'll be coming out with new stuff every day and here to help you thrive with your membership program. Bye for now.